Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition episode of Betting the Diagonal. It's your boy Morgan here again to bring you the fire. I'm here with my man, the number one host that you're going to find on the airwaves, my dude, Billy, the Kid Wilson. Billy, how you doing, my guy?
Oh, I'm doing great. You just informed me that there's college women's volleyball on, and it's a tie game like I said it was going to be. We're going to be watching this, talking draft, everything NFL draft. We're going to have a good time tonight. We're just a
We
couple
are.
dudes talking sports
We're
tonight.
dudes talking sports. We're dudes watching women's volleyball. I think we're watching it for different reasons. You're a volleyball guy. You love volleyball. I love women. Plain and simple.
Listen, I love women too.
What are you gonna do? I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anyone watching this right now, if I get caught looking to my left for a while,
Spandex.
I got a blonde on the screen. I can't do anything about it. I got to do what I got to do. But like Billy just teased a little bit, we're bringing a special episode tonight. We're taking a step back a little bit from the gambling aspect because we have a pretty big event happening next week. About a week from now, a week and 3 hours ago, whatever the fuck it was. NFL Draft 21. I'm
Depends
pumped.
what time zone you're in.
I don't know. I don't know time zones. It's EST for me. It's EDZ. I don't know. It's we're in the Eastern time zone. The draft's going to kick off next Thursday at 9 p.m. on ESPN in Cleveland. I don't know how Cleveland got the draft. It's a shame. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. It is. It is what it is. But we're talking draft. Billy, are you excited for the draft like I am?
I'm not as excited as you are. You're a massive draft guy. I am excited for the draft so I can start talking fantasy football again. I miss it. I love it. I have all my rookie write-ups for fantasy done, ready to go, just waiting on what team they will be landing on before that article releases. And when it does, it's going to be nothing but flames. Your eyes will be on fire.
I love that. Oh, we've seen a couple eyes on fire tonight. Everyone, take a look at Birth of the Degenerate, the episode we had tonight. Our man Jared, our favorite little degenerate, our man's is on cloud nine right now. He went past the moon. He went past Jupiter. He's out there on Pluto. He's so high. Our boy just got the second COVID vaccine. Happy for him. We're happy that he's going to be good. But we were sitting there in the chat in our episode, and it hit him. It hit
Yeah.
him hard. It looked like Terry Tate office linebacker coming through right there. Down goes Jared. But congrats to him. We had a great episode. Everybody, take a look at that. We had an awesome DFS test episode. I know a lot of y'all have looked at the test the last time. It was a hoot. Jared is quite the character. Everybody loves the kid.
I won a couple biscuits. It was great.
Yeah, Billy won a couple biscuits. We set a number. Billy won the number. What do you think the number was? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. You got to go watch the episode. Some great content in there for you. One of our best Birth of a Degenerate episodes we put out by far. Vibes were flowing. We pre-gamed it with a little Mac Miller. We had some fun going in there. We came in hot. We were ready to roll. Billy and I, we're tired. We're exhausted. Some shit's been going on today with Bitcoin. I was golfing today, and my body is just in pain. But we've been looking forward to this moment all week. We've been looking for this moment all night. We got the music going for Jared. We had birthday song on there for him. That gets him fired up. We're talking draft, baby. I'm
Yes,
pumped.
we are.
So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk. So we have a special coming out for at FFD Podcast, which is our mother station carrying us. And we're going to be putting up some awesome stuff. As Billy said, he's got his rankings kind of already prepped and ready to roll, just waiting for the players to get picked and everything. I got an awesome little article, 2-part article coming out for y'all. I've been working tirelessly for the past few weeks on my legal pads. You've all seen them. You know I love the legal pad. I love the NFL draft. It is my thing. I do a mock draft every single year. This year we got a platform to put it on. So tonight we're going to talk our first 15 picks. Let's do the first 16 picks. We'll do the first half of the draft.
Yeah,
the first 16 picks. We're not going to give you everything. I want you to come take a look at the website, take a look at the article, come to give us, take a look at this. We got some great stuff. There's more than just the NFL article right there for the draft. Take a look at some of Billy's old DFS articles. See what he's done and how he's won people money. You want to win money? Read Billy's articles. It's simple as that. That's all you got to do.
You could have read my gambling article when Morgan didn't show up that one week, and I went undefeated.
You could do that. When Morgan went cold right afterwards. That was gambling karma right there.
Yeah. You never should have stopped.
We're coming back with a vengeance, baby. We've tried this for a little bit now with the podcast, with the writing. We've seen what works, we've seen what doesn't work. We've got some awesome things in store for football season coming up. I mean, I can just see Billy and I. We're just smiling right now. We cannot wait. We have so many big things that we're working on right now. Wisconsin, Texas, 20 up, maybe.
I know, I'm watching,
We
baby. I'm
want this.
watching.
We want this to keep coming. I have my eyes on that Texas blonde. Just
Yep.
gonna say that right there. But we're gonna talk NFL draft tonight. We're gonna talk first 16 picks, first half of the draft. We're gonna talk my mock draft that we've done so far. We're just gonna do a little insight, what we think's gonna happen. Billy, do we got to talk first overall pick? I mean, it's
I
chalk.
mean,
It's what's our boy Jared say? Chalk it up. We know
chalk it
what's
up.
gonna happen. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think he's about minus 100,000 right now to go first
I've
overall.
never seen a number that large.
It is unbelievable. What do you think about? Well, we'll do a little brief little prior things. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? What are your thoughts on him? I know you watch a lot of college football.
Personally, I don't like him.
I'm right there with you.
I think he folds under pressure. I think he was a product in the environment with mostly NFL talent around him, playing people who are now selling cars in the ACC. But when it comes down to it, from my personal experience, I'm a hater. So as much as I love to hate on the guy, I have a steak dinner bet with a good friend of mine, Mr. Sean Riley, if he's listening, that he thinks that the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs next year. So we have a bet that
I don't think they are.
I know they're not.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
don't expect them
easiest
to.
$100 steak I've ever had in my life.
I agree. I'm on you with that one. We've been
But
on a lot of opposite sides of bets, but I'm 100% on that side for sure.
I mean, he is good. He does have the arm strength. He does have the mobility. I question how well he can read a defense, especially at the NFL level. But
I agree with you. 100% agree. Scheme designs that are out there in the NFL. We saw Trevor Lawrence his sophomore year. There were a lot of picks. He had trouble with some scheme, defensive coordinators who were scheming against him, hiding some coverages and everything. He struggled a little bit. Had a good junior year. Don't get me wrong. He didn't have to do anything to get the first pick. He was already a lock from the moment the freshman year ended. My least favorite part about this pick, Trevor Lawrence, wish you well. I hope you have a good career. I wrote in the article, I think I wrote in the article. If I didn't, I might have edited it out. Trevor Lawrence, after year one, probably goes down as the best quarterback in Jacksonville franchise history already. That's how putrid it has been. Your only competition is either Byron Leftwich or Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell was a
Mark
multiple
Brunell
Pro
was
Bowl.
filthy. Mark Brunell was filthy.
So was
That
Leftwich.
little lefty action.
Leftwich
Byron
is a great
Leftwich could have
quarterback.
fixed that throwing motion a little bit. He would have been a star. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it would have taken. My worst part about this, good for the Jaguars. Got the first pick. Congrats. Why I hate this pick. My doppelganger is going to lose his job. My twin, Gardner, Minshew Mania, baby. My man, I love him to death. He's going to lose his job. He's actually going to be the third string quarterback if he's not traded. I do believe he will get traded at the draft. But right now, he would be slated to be the third string quarterback behind Lawrence and C.J. Beathard. No shot in hell Lawrence does not start week one. You bring in Urban Meyer, you roll it and roll right off the jump.
That's another thing. I don't know how well Urban Meyer will be able to coach in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. When's the last, really coach wise, who's the last one from college to really tear it up in the NFL? I mean, jury's still out on some of them. I mean, last time I saw a big, college coach guru come to the NFL, the man by the name of Chip Kelly.
Yikes.
That didn't go well. I know from personal experience.
Where's he coaching now?
Unfortunately, he's over at UCLA.
Yeah, that's right. Back in college where
he's back in college where he belongs. He went to the Niners for a year, and he was so bad, and they hated his guts so much, he was gone before the season was even over. He's back there. But pick one. I think we both can agree, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that one's locked in.
I think pick two is pretty easy as well. Pick two in the betting the diagonal mock draft, we were going to have Zach Wilson, quarterback out of Brigham Young University. I know a lot of you haven't heard what BYU is. You know who the most famous guy to come out of BYU is?
That depends on who you ask, but no.
And let's say NFL wise.
Oh, no idea.
Andy Reid, Super Bowl winning head coach out of BYU, was an offensive tackle. Yep. Not too bad. Arguably a top 5 coach of all time. But Zach Wilson, the Jets traded away Sam Darnold to the Panthers. They made it very clear they are taking a quarterback. Billy, what do you think about that? We've given up on Sam Darnold after what 3 seasons, I believe it was, to go for another quarterback.
Sam Darnold wasn't. People were overhyping him, similar how I think they're overhyping Trevor. So like he was supposed to be NFL ready, this and that. To his dismay, he had 3 coaches in 3 seasons. 3 offensive coordinators in 3 seasons. It's he had bad luck. Bad luck of the draw. Nobody. He had Adam Gase for a year. You're never gonna win when you have Adam Gase, no matter who you are.
That's a tough look.
Unless you're Peyton Manning, and guarantee you Peyton Manning didn't listen to a word Adam Gase said. Not a damn word. I don't think they should have traded him, but especially because they got nothing in return for.
Nothing at all. And it's, I agree with you 100%. I think Sam Darnold is very much a product of a weak quarterback draft class.
Yes.
There was one outlier. There's one star who came out of that class. Do you remember who it was?
That was what, 4 years ago? 3 years ago.
3 years ago, going into year 4.
1, 2, 3. That would be Mahomes.
No, not Mahomes. No. That would be your boy Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I get my years mixed up.
That was the Baker Mayfield first overall year. Okay. Late riser Baker, surprising everyone, going to the Browns. I'm sorry. That was a weird draft. It was obviously Josh Allen is a stud. Can he do it again? We'll see, but I believe he can. I know Billy thinks he can. Man already has his MVP odds probably out there. He's pumping the Josh Allen train left and right.
I was the first person on the bandwagon.
Yep, but Sam Darnold did not impress me that much when he was at USC. USC quarterbacks, we know the history in the NFL. USC quarterbacks do not translate to the NFL for whatever reason. Your best one is Carson Palmer. It just hasn't worked out.
Decent, but Mr. Butt Fumble himself.
He had a run.
He won a couple AFC Championship games.
He did a good job throwing a lot of picks for me when he was in Philadelphia. I enjoyed the Sanchez, but I'm ready to move on from him forever. He's a great color commentator, though. I will say that about Mark Sanchez.
He is very good, actually.
Zach Wilson, though, ton of athleticism, big arm. What do we think NFL level, though? You know me, I love Zach Wilson. When we were talking about the Eagles picking at 6, I wanted Zach Wilson. I was all in. Obviously, that's not happening. What do you think about him?
He's got a big arm. It's not accurate at all. If you go and watch his highlight tape, any highlight tape, pick whichever one you want from YouTube, whichever one from any NFL, it's all him bombing the ball down the field, but having the receiver turn back around and dive and catch the ball. It's more of a receiver highlight than it is a Zach Wilson. The kid's got wheels.
He can run. He can move.
I think Salah will do a great job with him in the RPOs, and there's a lot of people comparing him to Josh Allen, but the difference between Josh Allen and Zach Wilson is Josh Allen will run you over. Zach Wilson can't do that. There's a lot of you go back to watch game film, which that's what I do for fantasy. For most of the time I'm more leaning on the offensive players, is where you're looking at everybody. Morgan, for me, it's I'm focusing on the offensive players. Obviously a couple top corners, this and that, but there's a lot of plays where he's getting, leg tackled in the backfield and going down for a loss. And, for a number 2 pick, I don't know.
I think it's tough. I think if I was the Jets, it would have been smarter to roll Darnold another year and beef up another position. I was bumping the Penei Sewell to the Jets for a long time. I think it would be very smart to build the trenches. It works. It's a pattern thing that has been proven. What are you going to do? Zach Wilson, to me, my comp, Derek Carr, with a higher ceiling, but a much lower floor.
And more mobile.
Yeah, more mobile. Well, Derek Carr's not that immobile. He can move a little bit.
No, he can.
But he can move a little bit. I think he's got the big arm like Carr. He's got more talent. He's got more potential. Carr's proven himself as at least a middle-tier quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not going to win this Super Bowl probably.
A very short period of time. He was in the MVP race last year.
Absolutely. I think that's Zach Wilson. I think that's kind of where we're looking at with him. I think he might be a good pro. I don't know. It's, again, you had Jaguar quarterbacks have sucked. Jet quarterbacks have kind of sucked. It is what it is. All right, we're going to move on. Pick number 3. I think we're going to have a little bit of a debate on this pick. In the Betting the Diagonal mock draft, pick number 3, the San Francisco 49ers, who traded up for this pick. People aren't going to like this. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
I like it.
All right. I like it. That's what I hear. I believe that.
Listen, I was under the influence last week. Didn't know what I was talking about, but I do agree. This is who the Jets should take if they're going to take a quarterback. They're smart.
I don't hate that. I think that one of the big things, and everyone's talking Mac Jones to the Niners. That's why they came up. Kyle Shanahan's one of the most creative offensive minds there is in the league. Give him, when he's great with running backs, give him a quarterback who can move, who's mobile, what Justin Fields is, who can also throw it. That opens up that entire offense. You let him sit behind Jimmy G for a year before turning over the reins. Works out, he learns the offense. Shanahan's not going anywhere. He's not going after this season. They've committed a ton to him right now. I think he is a great fit. Everyone's saying Mac Jones. I got Mac Jones somewhere else. Teaser. I got a trade coming up for Mac Jones. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Justin Fields, I loved what I saw in the college football semi. Finals, you're against Alabama. What are you going to do? You can only do so much, unfortunately. That's like playing a freaking all 99 level defense in Madden. And I got Carson Wentz out there. What are you going to do?
Did you just admit Carson Wentz is garbage?
Against an all 99 defense, absolutely.
That's fair. I'm texting Sean right now to clip it.
There it is. Put it on the board. What do you think, Billy? Justin Fields, thoughts?
He's a natural athlete, which I love. He's got very good accuracy. It's not being spoken of enough. He doesn't overthrow receivers. He doesn't underthrow them. He puts the ball where it's supposed to be. And he's a born winner. The kid wins everywhere he goes. He may not be winning natties, but he's not losing games. He's not playing jokes like he's not playing nobodies like you would in BYU or Dakota with Trey Lance, which we're worried about. He's playing the best of the best. I
agree.
I love him. I think he's probably going to end up being the best quarterback out of the draft.
I remember I just said a couple weeks back with you, months back, maybe it was at this point. Justin Fields, to me, has the most superstar potential of the quarterbacks, but also has the lowest floor of any of the quarterbacks.
Yes.
To me, I think he could be Russell Wilson. He could be that kind of guy. He also could be Seneca Wallace, where he's just a career backup in RG3, nothing special. He's got a ton of talent. He's a great leader, phenomenal leader. He's led that program for a while now. Fun fact, a little quiz here. Do you know where Justin Fields transferred from to go to Ohio State?
Bama.
Wrong.
Oh, no, it wasn't Oklahoma?
Nope.
Oh, I have no idea.
University of Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, fuck Georgia.
He left Georgia because he was backing up a quarterback by the name of Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm is the worst quarterback of all time.
Absolutely terrible. Thought he was going to be a star when he was in the title game a few years back. Thought he would be the guy, but nope, he never got any better. But Justin Fields, pick number 3, coming off the board. We're going to go to pick 4. We're going to get things are going to start to get interesting now. We're finally not going to have a quarterback. This is going to be a quarterback-heavy draft, guys. There's a bet out there right now. The total for the quarterbacks is set at 5.5. You can honestly go either way. I think there's some crazy shit that could happen late in the draft. There's a guy by the name of Davis Mills out of Stanford who has been getting a little bit of late momentum. You're just going to have to read the article to find out if he's getting picked. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to get in there and take a look. Pick number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. This pick here is one of the biggest trade possibilities. They've been looking to get out of it for a while. Right now, I'm only going to have one trade in this mock draft because there's one trade that really stands out to me, and it's not this pick. I'm sure there will be much more trades than I have projected, and that's a given. But for the sake of argument, we're going to keep it as it is for most of them. Pick number 4 to the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to have wide receiver / tight end Kyle Pitts out of Florida.
The best player in the draft.
I 100% agree with that. The best player in the draft. An absolute matchup nightmare. He runs as fast as any receiver out there. He's as big and strong as any tight end out there. He is a matchup nightmare. A lot of people are talking about the Falcons taking a quarterback. Matty Ice doesn't have much left in the tank. I get it, 100%. But I think the Falcons are going to take a page out of the Packers playbook last year, and where they're going to see that Aaron Rodgers still has a little bit left in the tank. I think they're going to gear up for one more run with Matt Ryan. Take out a couple crazy endings. Falcons played better down the stretch. Things could have bounced a couple different ways. Who knows? They had how many losses did they have in a row on the last drive? I think it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was 4, I believe.
Absolutely wild. They were the most, just beat up team and struck by bad luck. Kyle Pitts adds something to that offense that they don't have. Julio is getting older. He's coming down to the end of the line. Calvin Ridley was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely great. He gets a lot of help with the fact that Julio is going to get so much attention. Best thing about taking a guy like Kyle Pitts is next year, say the Falcons suck next year. Billy, this is a question for you. What is the number one thing that a rookie quarterback loves to have?
Tight end. Safety blanket.
Tight end, a safety blanket in the middle of the field where he can see. Tight end, quarterback's looking in the middle of the field before he progresses out to the outer hooks. He's looking down the middle. You got a guy who's going to run a 4.3 at 6'6", 240 pounds down the middle. Yikes. That is a terrifying thought as a defender standing there.
I would agree with you going Kyle Pitts. I just don't. Personally, I don't know where they'll go. I think they trade out. I really do.
It's one of the
don't
top
know
trade
who's
out
going to
options
pull
in the
up.
pick.
I
Whoever's
could
coming up
see
for that pick is coming up for a quarterback. I think that's pretty safe to say.
not necessarily. You can go.
There's some guys. I don't think it's tough because the NFL, especially in a draft situation, you don't see tight end, in this case, / receivers go that early very often. The last one to go this high was T.J. Hawkinson a couple years ago. He's a Pro Bowler now. He's pretty good. Vernon Davis is a pretty good comp to Kyle
I mean,
Pitts.
they
A little
also
bit bigger,
have
obviously.
down in Atlanta. They also have my boy Hayden Hurst, who they
Hayden
just
Hurst.
traded for last season. Gave up solid capital for him.
He did second-round pick.
Yeah.
Big click.
That's why I don't know if they're going to use this number 1 overall pick with him.
My thought process behind it is that Atlanta sees how Baltimore ran that tight end set with Mark Andrews and Hurst, and how Hurst thrived in a number 2 tight end role.
Hurst never saw the field.
So, but when he was out there, he made plays, and he is fast. He can
He's a
run.
baller.
He is one of the fastest guys. A former pitcher was drafted in the MLB. I don't remember what team it was, but he was drafted. So we're gonna have Kyle Pitts going pick number 4. Moving on.
Say so.
I think it happens. I like that pick. I don't like it as an Eagles fan. I very much wanted Kyle Pitts. Obviously, that is now gone. Howie Roseman, #fire Howie at the Eagles. Everybody, please tweet that for me. I want Howie gone. He's ruining my franchise. So we're going to move on. Pick number 5 is an interesting pick. It's Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't like where you're going with this. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead, you can go.
Yeah, for sure. Pick number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. It's a very interesting pick. There's 2 names that really pop out for this pick. The guy you're looking at, the guy I'm looking at. For me, when you have a rookie quarterback now going into his second year, coming off a torn ACL, yeah, a great quarterback makes his receivers look great. Doesn't matter who they are. But what they can't do is they can't fix poor offensive line play. So at pick number 5, I'm going to have the Cincinnati Bengals take offensive tackle Penei Sewell out of Oregon, who has been dubbed as a generational left tackle prospect.
Mm-hmm. Hall of Famer. That's what they call him already.
Very much gets a lot of comparisons to Jonathan Ogden, who arguably is one of the top 5 best left tackles of all time. I think he fits seamlessly into that offense. You switch Jonah Williams, who was your first-round pick 2 years ago, over to right tackle. You bolster your entire line right there. Like I said, a good quarterback. If Joe Burrow is as good as everybody says he is, he's going to make his receivers around him look good. He just needs time. That's it. I know you're on the other side. Let me tell the viewers who you.
My reasoning is it depends who they speak to within that organization to make that pick. If they ask Joe, do you want a lineman or do you want Jamar Chase? He's going to say Chase. And if they have any brains, they listen to what Joe wants because he's the future of that franchise. You're going to give him his favorite receiver who he broke college records with that whole run. You got it. Personally, that's where I would go with it. It would be the flip-flop with these 2 picks. I think it's the wrong pick.
That's where I lean. I think it is the wrong pick. I think it very well could happen. Yeah. But I do think it is the wrong pick. And I think if you are in this situation letting a second-year quarterback as Joe Burrow dictate your draft plans, that is not good for the future of your franchise.
I mean, we'll see how Zach Taylor is. You know how he works that group, what he wants to do. as a former lineman himself, he might lean heavily on the lineman side. I hope so for Joe's health.
For sure, absolutely. Um, moving on. Number 6, Miami Dolphins, who acquired the pick via my Philadelphia Eagles. Again, pick hurts me. All the guys that I had planned on getting at 6 are going to be off the board right here. I have Jamar Chase going right here. We said a couple minutes ago, Miami's playing with house money. And I don't think it's that big of a take or a hot take to say that with a little bit of consistent quarterback play, Miami's challenging Buffalo for that division.
Yes,
And
I
I
agree.
think if you get Tua to do anything, we're challenging that. I wish that's why I kind of wish Fitzpatrick would have stayed. I think they could have made a run at that division for sure with him under center.
If
But
if he would have played all year, they would have been in the playoffs.
I 100% agree with you. We'll see what happens with Tua. We'll see. Give him a weapon, okay. I think Kyle Pitts, if he was on the board, might have been the pick here at number 6. Again, young quarterback. Give him that guy in the middle of the field.
They have
Mike
Gasecki.
Gesicki is a
He's
nice tight
huge.
end.
He's
Have to pay him
massive.
got to pay him a contract though. He's coming up, and I don't know if they're going to want to pay him. Obviously, now I believe they will pay him because they're not going to be taking Kyle Pitts with this pick. Jamar Chase, we've seen it. It's clear as can be that Jamar Chase is the best receiver in this draft class. Pure wide receiver. Excuse me. 6'2", 214 pounds. He is built phenomenally. Ran a great 40 time. He has some of the best hands in the draft. There's another guy who has better hands. Whom, spoiler, we're not going to be talking about tonight. You'll have to read the draft for that because I'm predicting a little bit of a slide for a certain Heisman winner. But that's neither here nor there. Jamar Chase put up phenomenal numbers with Joe Burrow. Everybody forgets about him because he sat out the year, but bring him back in there. He was a Biletnikoff winner. He is a fantastic receiver. He is a game changer.
Now
Very
people
much,
people forget about how good he was.
absolutely. It's amazing what happens in 1 year. Very much reminds me of a faster, stronger Keenan Allen. I think that is a good comp for him. I think that is a good pick. That is if Tua can put it together,
Interesting.
nice weapon. Have a nice duo of Devontae Parker and Jamar Chase. It's not too bad. We'll see what happens. Pick 7. Things start to get a little bit more interesting now. This is a pick that a lot of people probably wouldn't expect at pick 7. Dan Campbell is the new coach of the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, for those who do not know, is probably one of the better blocking tight ends that the league has seen
Wait,
in the
this
past
is
few years.
the Broncos pick. They
7?
traded. Yeah, they swapped. Yeah,
When did this happen?
that's what it says on CBS right now. I'm looking at it right now.
Are you looking at a proposed trade?
No, I don't think so.
I think you might be.
Could
Give me
be.
a second. Stand by.
NFL
Technical
draft.
difficulties.
I just want to double check.
It is the Detroit Lions.
Oh, that must
So
be a proposed trade.
it's okay. I think it's proposed trades, and we're not going to do that. We're only going to do one of those, like I said. I think at this pick 7, you have the Detroit Lions. You're bringing in a new culture. This is a hard-nosed coach who, as a blocking tight end, knows the importance of winning the battle in the trenches. You brought in a new quarterback in Jared Goff, shipping out Matt Stafford. You got a lot of nice picks in that trade as well as Detroit. You have a young quarterback here kind of trying to rehabilitate a little bit, so you're not going to look quarterback here. A coach like him, like I said, is going to look in the trenches. So pick 7, they're going to take a hog molly himself. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. If you do not know who Rashawn Slater is, I implore you right now to pull up his game tape against Chase Young in 2019.
Yep.
Chase Young is a very much considered a generational defensive end. Rashawn Slater made him look like nothing. Made him look like a fifth-year senior who's seen 5 snaps his entire career. Absolutely dominated him for Northwestern. He also, as Northwestern is a more of a running-based offense, has shown that he can handle guys in the run game with pancake blocks left and right. Phenomenal toughness you're going to get out of this guy as well. And that is going to institute a culture there in Detroit they have not had in a while. Detroit's been a very soft team for a long time. This is what you need. Rashawn Slater reminds me very much of a guy on the other side of the line, John Runyon. Hard nose watching Michael Strahan, John Runyon battle it out for years. One of the toughest offensive linemen in league history. Very much reminds me of him. He may not ever be a complete superstar or anything, but that's a guy who's going to be a bookend on your line for over a decade. He's going to protect your quarterback. He's going to get into some fights, but you're going to love that. Detroit is going to fall in love with this guy. What do you think?
Personally, I agree with everything you just said, and I think that the name of Sewell is getting too much attention, and people are absolutely sleeping on Slater. Like you said, if
Yep.
you can shut down Chase Young, which in his rookie year nobody could shut him down in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's this is a stud. You're getting a
And
massive boy.
I completely agree with you. And I think maybe a hot take. I think Slater's going to have a better career than Sewell will.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think one thing that really stands out is look at the conferences the two of them came from. Pac-12, that's a spread offense. Let's run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody really playing under center. Oregon doesn't play under center. Northwestern is a pro-style offense.
Yeah.
He is set up. Dan Campbell, famously enough, was an interim head coach previously, runs the two tight end I formation a lot. That is set up to lead that fullback down the B gap, have Rashawn Slater pull maybe on the corner, just lay out a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Mack, nice to know you. Get out of here. Slater's coming through.
There's no plays off in a pro style offense as
Not
opposed
at
to
all.
you're playing on that end, and nobody's coming your way. You're just standing there pretending to block somebody. That's really what you're doing in a spread offense.
It's a great pick. I think it fits so well into that hard-nosed city that is Detroit. You got to get tougher. You want to win in that division, you got to get tough, or else you're going to keep getting walked over. Moving on to pick number 8. Oh, hold up.
So dumb.
Trade. We have a trade to announce. At pick number 8, the New England Patriots are coming up and swapping picks at pick 15 with the Carolina Panthers. There will be more compensation in there, obviously. Not going to get into that. That's too much jargon for everybody to understand and go through and whatnot. Draft pick value. At pick number 8, New England's coming up. They got two. There's two guys in mind if you're coming up from 15 to 8. If you guys are still on the board, going to be a quarterback, Billy. That's my philosophy here. And I told you earlier, I know we kind of go a little bit back and forth on this one because I know you like another quarterback in this spot.
I like another quarterback if they trade up, but I don't think they're going to trade up, and I'll tell you why when you're done.
Absolutely, yeah. I think at pick number 8, New England Patriots select quarterback Mac Jones out of Alabama. In my opinion, and again, this is all my opinion. I don't know there's no guarantees in mock drafts. There's no guarantees in betting. Mac Jones is a great replacement for. I mean, who have they replaced Tom Brady? No. Cam Newton's washed. He's done. He's not an MVP guy anymore. He's barely got a job. Mac Jones is a plug and play guy in an offense of Bill Belichick.
That's a bold statement.
I think he is. The upside.
That's a bold statement.
Guy like Mac Jones, he doesn't have that superstar upside. He has solid starter upside. He's got a very high floor, though, as well. I think he's a guy that Bill Belichick is going to look at in the mold of a Tom Brady-esque player, a pocket passer. Yep.
Is that why Bill Belichick left his workout halfway through?
My man Bill Belichick doesn't let anything out.
Just saying, he walked out. He left early.
He saw what he had to see. He knows.
Yeah, he saw him overthrowing them balls.
If there's one guy I could kind of believe in when he's going to make a pick, it's going to be Bill Belichick. And he's going to know how to get the best out of his quarterback. He saw it with Tom Brady for so many years now. I think we can all agree that Tom Brady probably made that now that he's won a Super Bowl with Tampa. Mac Jones is a very much, like I said, a guy in the mold of Tom Brady, a little bit more athletic, doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but, he can move the offense. He can move the chains for you. I know you don't love that pick. Give us reasoning. I know you have somebody else in mind.
First, if my personal opinion, Josh McDaniels has been begging for a mobile quarterback. He got one with Cam, but Cam is old, he's washed, he doesn't have the wheels he used to. So first, what better way, if they do trade up to this pick, which I don't think they will, Trey Lance would be their pick. He can sit behind Cam, who also has a massive arm just like Trey does. He can teach him the right way to get down. He can teach him all that stuff that nobody taught Cam beforehand. And, not to be rude or anything, but Bill's getting old. Josh McDaniels should have left years ago. He's still 100%. There because that's his job. That's his job when Bill leaves.
He's been sitting there for years.
So that's my opinion if they do trade up. Number 2, the reason why they don't trade up and the reason why they don't take a quarterback is when's the last time they've drafted a quarterback in the first round?
That's fair. It's very fair. Last guy would be Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Way
I
back.
mean, it helps that they had Tom Brady for 20 plus years, but they
Absolutely.
had a chance to get Lamar and they passed on him. Like they had a chance to get a couple good
It's a
quarterbacks
it's an
recently.
interesting spot. It's a very highly valued pick for the Carolina. I know there's a lot of teams that are possibly considering moving up, and that is a pick that is big in the trade market right now.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see. We're going to
I
see what
mean,
happens.
you do have like with that trade, you do have the Panthers who you have trading out, picking the person who I believe they will take.
We'll get to that, won't we?
Yes, we will, I guess.
We'll get to that in a couple picks. Uh, I think that, like I said, I think the Mac Jones is a pick. I'm coining the phrase "feels like 11" for the New England Patriots. They splurged on some tight ends. Maybe they're going to try to recreate the Gronk, Aaron Hernandez days. I don't know. Got to have that quarterback to get him the ball. We'll see. Pick number 9. The team that Billy thought was picking at number 7, Denver Broncos. A lot of people don't. I think a little bit differently. I think than a lot of people do with this pick. And from what I've been reading and hearing, this spot has been getting some steam as a possible quarterback destination.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, you know who the quarterback for Denver is right now?
Shitlock.
He stinks.
He's
Trash.
horrible.
I mean,
I knew
I,
that
I
when he was coming out.
yep.
I said
And
on
it was funny.
FFD, he's going to
Missouri,
be terrible.
another one. Missouri quarterbacks stink in the NFL. Another one you can look at, kind of like USC guys. But Denver Broncos at pick 9. I have them taking quarterback, North Dakota State University, Trey Lance. Trey Lance, playing in the Midwest for his entire collegiate career, knows the elements that Denver is going to be similar to. That mile high, I feel like even though Elway's not the GM anymore, he's still going to have some input in what's going on.
He's got
He is going
all
to
the
be
input.
tantalized by that arm that he has. That man can throw that ball a country mile. He's also a quite mobile quarterback. He can get around. There's something in that North Dakota blood up there where they put in some quarterbacks in the league. Maybe Trey Lance will have a little bit more success than my guy did, but we'll see. Billy, what do you think about that pick?
It's for me as a player, Trey Lance. It's hard to really evaluate how good he is because he played against garbage, which is why people thought Carson Wentz is that the third. He ain't good. He ain't good. I do
You
think
can't hurt me with the Carson Wentz slander anymore.
Yeah, sure I can. We'll see. We'll see. It's a long off season. I do think that he relies on his legs more than he should, especially with the cannon of an arm he has. With
Yep.
good coaching, which there isn't in Denver, that should fix. But if he does go to Denver, I think he's just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. They're a run first team anyway. It would help if he when Cortland Sutton comes back. There's a lot of good pieces there for him to succeed. I don't know if he'd win the starting job over Drew Lock, to be 100% honest with you.
And I don't think he will. I think it's a great opportunity for him to sit a year behind Locke. You're not going to learn from Locke, but it's a great opportunity to rebuild your franchise because you're going to have a high draft pick again next season. It's a great chance. You're going to maybe build to the offensive line next year. You got your quarterback of the future. Start protecting him. Build that defense up. Denver used to have a pretty damn good defense, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Those days are a little bit gone now. But pick number 9, Trey Lance, Denver Broncos. We're moving on. Pick number 10, the infamous, the most hated team in all of professional sports. Not America's team because they haven't been relevant in about almost 3 decades. The Dallas Cowboys. This pick makes way too much sense for me based off of Jerry Jones. 100%. Pick number 10, cornerback out of Alabama, Patrick Surtain II.
There were
It makes
rumors, sorry, I don't
too
want to cut
much
you off.
sense. Good.
There were rumors saying that they were trying to package a deal with the Falcons today.
Interesting. I did not see that.
Because he's obsessed. Jerry Jones is obsessed with Kyle Pitts.
If he makes that pick, will be the biggest mistake that franchise has made, aside from maybe CD Lamb last year.
Yeah.
You cannot keep. You have 3 receivers who are already 1,000-yard capable receivers.
Mm-hmm.
You only got 1 ball to throw around. You got a running back who's pretty good too and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's their defense. We saw it historically bad last season. It got better down the stretch. A better defense, even and with some solid quarterback play, they win that division easily.
They
Plain
need
and
some
simple.
clamps on the corner, bro. That's what they need.
do. And in my opinion, and in this case, my opinion is God right here. Um, Jerry Jones is not going to pass on the name recognition that is Patrick Surtain. His dad had a long, successful career in the NFL at corner. He sees that bloodlines right there. I think he's going to add him to Chidobe Awuzie on the other side. You get the makings of a good young secondary. It scares me as an Eagles fan because I like Patrick Surtain a lot. I think he's going to be absolutely great. He's
He's a stud.
very comparable to Jalen Ramsey coming out of college. Will he beat Jalen Ramsey? I don't know. That's tough to beat. Jalen's a pretty damn good corner.
Yeah.
It's hard to put that name on him, but has very similar measurables, very similar times. We'll see. Only time will tell.
I love that pick. I love him. I love that pick. It makes too much sense, therefore it probably won't happen. Jerry Jones will find a way to fuck it up because he has his two rivals picking in the next two spots behind him. They could go offensive line, but I really do think they do need to take Surtain. I really do. I don't see any other scenario where they truly need any other position bad enough.
It's just defense. They don't need a linebacker. They don't need a Micah Parsons. They need secondary help. They could use some pass rush, but this point in the draft, there's really not. This year does not have that elite pass rusher. There's nice guys, but they're guys. That's it. There's no Myles Garrett's. There's no Jadeveon Clowney's coming out of South Carolina.
No Chase Youngs.
That's no Chase Young. I mean, there's no Chase Youngs. I haven't seen that. I mean, who's the last guy generationally who came out? Everybody thought Clowney was going to be that guy, and Clowney's had a nice career, but he's never been a dominant pass rusher.
Clowney was hurt a lot. Similar like how J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was hurt a lot.
Very much, yeah. I think the pick makes way too much sense.
Yeah.
And it kind of cucks the Eagles and the Giants specifically as two teams who are very corner needy. So as we kind of tease that a little bit, let's jump into pick number 11, which is the New York Football Giants. We talked about this pick on Birth of a Degenerate with our boy Jared, and as soon as I said this name, our man's went, who? Jared's a casual fan, plain and simple. Those New York Giants fans are a bunch of casuals. They don't know anything about football. But at pick number 11, there's a lot of things the Giants could need to improve their team. One of their biggest weaknesses last year, though, was that offensive line. Nate Solder is an absolute turnstile at left tackle. Contemplated retiring this offseason. He
should have retired last year.
He absolutely should have, but he's bringing in that bread. He is the definition of a bread maker.
Sometimes it's all it's about.
Right. So at pick number 11, the New York Football Giants select Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. Darrisaw, if you're not familiar, which I'm sure a lot of people are not, that's fine, is a very high-rising left tackle, offensive tackle prospect coming into the draft. I think Darrisaw, from watching game tape, fits significantly better as a right tackle, which works out great because last year the Giants took whom they believed to be their left tackle of the future. You need guys who can protect your quarterback. You invested a lot in Daniel Jones. You got a lot invested in Saquon Barkley. You got to protect them. You got to keep them upright. I mean, look at all the games Saquon last year before he blew out his knee. Could not get even to the line of scrimmage because that line was so bad.
Saquon can only run one way. When he tries to run to the left, it doesn't work out very well for him. No matter who's blocking for him, it don't matter.
That's why you don't take a running back that early. Plain and simple. It was a bad pick. Saquon's a hell of a player, hell of a talent. Don't take a running back that early, guys. Don't. This is why I should be the GM. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to run the draft room. Darrisaw, very high rising prospect right now. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar, but you don't always need superstars. Plain and simple. You have to build. It's very simple. And as an Eagles fan, I have seen this for years. Andy Reid drove this home. You win in the trenches. Plain and simple. You build your lines. You have a defensive line that gets at the quarterback. It makes your entire defense better. You have an offensive line that can protect your quarterback, open some holes up for a running back, makes your entire offense significantly better. Darrisaw, to me, is a plug-and-play guy at right tackle from day one. We'll see how he does, but I think he's a great pick for the Giants right there. That would go a long way in helping that franchise.
I don't know anything about him, to be honest with you. That's ACC football. It's useless to me.
It's interesting. He put up some good tape though. He held his own against Clemson, against some very high quality opponents. He had some inconsistent tape. A lot of guys will. There's not, no one's perfect by any means, unless you're Chase Young. It's a good. I think it's a good pick. I think he's going to go a long way to help. We'll see. We'll see. We'll have a lot of going on with that one. Moving on, pick number 12, my Philadelphia Eagles from Miami via San Francisco.
That's
Have
all.
been over.
This is all the places that Eagles fans wish they lived. By the way.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. It is currently 45 degrees in Philadelphia. I'm telling you right now, it's not that in Miami or San Francisco. The futures of those teams look a little bit brighter than my team does right now. But at pick 12, we moved back. Kyle Pitts is gone. Jamar Chase is gone. No one else really. Patrick Surtain's off the board. We got a couple options. We have Devontae Smith sitting there. A lot of people, pundits, have said Devontae Smith to the Eagles. Wild that my head coach Nick Sirianni is playing rock paper scissors with my draft prospects to decide their competitiveness. Don't love that
I
in the
don't hate it though.
slightest.
I will say
Don't hate it, but do
don't
not love it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's I
It
mean,
ain't good.
I know you don't watch Nick Sirianni press conferences like I do, but God, man, dude, it's scary times down here in Philly. We are about to have a reckoning. There's going to be rioting soon if our football team stinks. Oh my God, that's my city is going to. My Philly scumbags are all coming out in waves, and we're heading down to NovaCare, and we're taking Howie, and we're taking him up to the William Penn statue and leaving him up there forever. But at pick number 12, a lot of people say wide receiver for the Eagles. You know what? I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. The Eagles have invested a lot of high picks of late in wide receivers. They've stunk. They've been the wrong guys. Jalen Reagor last year instead of Justin Jefferson. I still get mad when I watch that video of the Vikings laughing at us. I think Reagor will be a good player. Justin Jefferson was the better pick in that spot. Go a year prior to that, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in the second round.
Arcega-Whiteside.
Over a guy who's pretty good out there in Seattle in DK Metcalf. He's not bad.
It's the worst pick of all time.
It's not good. Not good at all.
Than Ryan Leaf.
I can't argue. It's a very sad. The guy has caught 24 passes in 2 years. You know, it's not great. But at pick number 12, Philadelphia Eagles select out of South Carolina cornerback J.C. Horn. Another Bloodlines pick here. Son of former wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints, Joe Horn. Infamously, my man is a great end zone dancer. You know what? I believe JC is a great end zone dancer when he takes some pick sixes back. JC Horn is one of the toughest corners I think I probably ever scouted. And I am not a pro scout by any means, but a corner that I have watched film on and anything, he's one of the toughest ones I have seen. He loves to get in there and tackle guys. He is a 6'1", maybe 6'2" on a good day corner who can turn and burn. He can run with that receiver. He is a great option to put next to Darius Slay in the twilight of Slay's career before you turn over the reins to him and he becomes CB1. Thoughts?
I don't hate it. They need it desperately. I was all year in DFS just slamming any and all wide receivers playing against the Eagles. They couldn't stop a paper bag in the wind.
Receiver twos against the Eagles, they're going to put up 10 catches, 150 yards every single game. You had a guy in Avonte Maddox who's 5'9".
He's so bad.
As our second outside corner, you need depth. We did not sign any corners in free agency. We've had high picks in corners in the past few years, and Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones. They both are long gone at this point. Time to take corner, and I even could see the Eagles going double dipping in corner in round 2 as well, dialing up the Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown years.
Yeah, they should. They should do something because that offense, that defense,
good corner draft
stinks.
There's actually certain corner whom I have, I believe, getting taken at pick 31. I'm sorry, pick 30. And I know, Billy, you're looking at this right now, whom I absolutely love. He is my favorite corner in the class by far. I think he is going to be a star and is very undervalued. You're going to have to read the mock draft to see who that one is, but I think he's a stud. J.C. Horn, great name for a corner. Great measurables and everything. I think he's going to be a good player for the Eagles for a long time. However, it's the Eagles. He comes to my organization. He's probably going to be out of the NFL in 3 years. So, it is what it is. Hopefully, he's successful. Okay, we're going to move on. Only got 4 more picks we're going to talk about tonight, guys. Pick number 13, the Los Angeles Superchargers. Had a pretty good quarterback last year. I think it's pretty safe to say. I don't think many people saw Justin Herbert kind of having that good of a start to his career.
It wasn't that good, but I said he was going to be good, and my co-host over at FFD said, "You're an idiot. He's terrible." I said, "Okay." Just watch.
He took that job from Tyrod Taylor and ran with it and never looked back.
Man, he didn't take that job. The doctor on the team stabbed
Doctor,
him. They
the
had to
doctor.
stab
That's
Tyrod.
what you got to
Get
do
off the
sometimes, man.
field, you moron.
That's how you get your guys on the field. You need playing time. That's what you. That was definitely a degenerate himself ordering that doctor to do that. Somebody had some money on that game. But at pick 13, a team like the Chargers, right? You got a young quarterback right now. Again, we went over this earlier. Important things for a young quarterback: you got to protect them. You got to keep them upright. Chargers have an iffy offensive line. Okay, you don't really have any stars by chance at any position, and you can use some versatility. You can use a guy who can lock down a tackle spot. You know what? Maybe he doesn't succeed at tackle. Kick him in the guard. You know, he's going to be a very strong player in that regard. So at pick 13, I have the Los Angeles Chargers taking Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive lineman out of USC. What do you think?
I like that pick a lot, just because they do need to shore up that offensive line. A lot of times he was under pressure way too many times last year. They're going to become a little bit more run centric, I think, personally. That's where my early stat outs are going, is them trying to run the ball a little bit more, run a little more play action, because you can't throw the ball to. Oh, you can. Clearly, it worked last year, but you can't throw the ball to Keenan Allen 21 times a game. Expect that to work over and over and over and over again.
Not a successful pattern to use there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like I said, you have a guy who could kick into guard. You have a guy who can kick into tackle. He's gone, again, Pac-12. Say what you want about the Pac-12. He's been consistent. Another riser up the draft boards right now. Fills a lot of needs for the Chargers. And again, say it for the 100th time, young quarterback, keep him upright. You do not want that quarterback getting hit. They got all the hits Joe Burrow took last year, right? That hit that Malik Jackson served up against him with the Eagles. Whew! Didn't think Burrow was ever getting back up after that one. That was quite the welcome to the NFL moment.
Yes, it was.
Justin Herbert hasn't had that moment, and hopefully he doesn't have that moment even in year 2. Elijah Vera Tucker goes a long way in keeping that from happening. Pick 14, Minnesota Vikings. I'm just going to throw this out there. Minnesota's jerseys might be my favorite jerseys in the NFL. I love the purple.
I love a good Adam Thielen jersey.
Oh, I hate you for that. For those of you, everyone who's watching this should know this by now if you've watched prior episodes. Adam Thielen is my least favorite wide receiver of all time. He's my least favorite NFL player of all time. I lost a fantasy football championship game to one Jared Phillip of Birth of a Degenerate fame. Thanks to Mr. Billy Wilson here setting his lineup for him. I lost this championship because of Adam Thielen dropping a 5-yard touchdown pass with nobody within 5 yards of him. My man did not catch a single pass. I needed one catch. That's it. One catch.
I'd like to say, for all my FFD listeners out there, it was not collusion, because I am not in the league. It was friendly advice.
It was friendly fire against me, his co-host. Friendly fire.
Listen.
Tough. It's a tough
look.
There's
no money in that league.
You're right.
It's a college league. You get a trophy, and that's it, and bragging rights.
Yeah,
therefore, I said, fine, I'll help him out. If there's money on the line, I'm not going to just start setting lineups for people. I mean, I do it on Twitter all day, but it's a little bit different. It's my job.
Man of honor right there. Man of honor. I love that. But at pick number 14, I think it's time that we bring back the Purple People Eaters. I don't know about you, but that was one of my favorite defenses. They were fun as hell to watch. So at pick 14, out of the University of Miami, defensive end / edge rusher Jalen Phillips. Another guy. A lot of guys have been talking. There's another defensive end over there in Miami who gets a lot more recognition because of what he did 2 seasons ago. That's fair. Ton of talent. Sat out this last year. Is he in my first round? I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not in my top 16 picks. Again, you're going to have to read the draft to see what you think. I'm not going to spoil that one, but Jalen Phillips moving up draft boards also very quick. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm very rarely wrong on NFL draft stuff, he is a 6'4" defensive end who ends about a 4.6 40. Comes off the edge very fast, has a great first step, great twitch with his ankles, where he can kind of get his ankles down low and get underneath tackles. That goes a long way in the NFL. If you can just get that fast twitch muscle. Everson Griffin is gone from Minnesota. You just like that? You like that? I had to flip the hair a little bit. Everson Griffin, gone. Danielle Hunter did not have a great year last year. They took flyers on Yannick and Ngakwe. Didn't work out. You need some D line help to make a good pass rush. Jalen Phillips is a great young pass rusher in the making. Does have an injury history. A little scary. However, the Vikings in the past have not shied away from guys with injury histories. I think this pick makes too much sense. Billy.
I love it. I wish he was going to my Steelers. I don't know if he's going to go that high. I don't. I love the spot. I would like to say I love the spot. They have a bunch of holes to fill. They weren't very good. Um, who knows if Mac doesn't go where you think he's going, he can go down here.
Possible.
They're getting a
Very
little tired
possible.
of
Mac Jones is
Kirk.
Mac Jones very similar to Kirk Cousins in play style. Very
And
similar
he
quarterback.
could actually learn something from them.
Possible. I think it. Like I said, I think it makes sense. You want to build that defense. That offense. That team is a run-first offense with Dalvin Cook. Has had phenomenal seasons the past 2 years. I think they're going to want to. Like I said earlier, you build the trenches. You build the line. This draft after the first couple tackles doesn't have that super, that big name guy that you can build the line with. I personally am not a big proponent unless it's a Quentin Nelson of taking a guard in the first round, unless it's a later pick. It's just the value is not there. It's not going to happen. Quentin Nelson is a once in a generation offensive guard. That guy pancakes people. Let me tell you that. That is the pancake man himself. But we're going to move on. Pick number 15. We had this trade earlier with New England. I have Carolina coming back here to pick 15, adding a couple extra assets for sure. But we're back in pick 15 with the Panthers. Panthers are an interesting spot. They brought in Sam Darnold. Looks like that's going to be their guy that they're going to build around. They couldn't get Deshaun Watson. Deshaun's got some legal issues going on right now. We'll see what happens with that. Fortunately, it looks like he might be a guy if they clear him up that the Eagles might go after. I don't know if I like that. But he's talented. I'll give him that. You have an interesting thing. You got an offensive coach coming from Baylor last year, Matt Rule, coach of Temple a couple years ago before going to Baylor. Phenomenal as an offensive guy. He has a phenomenal offensive coordinator as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what do offensive coaches want? They want weapons. I want speed. I want some guys who can burn. All right. We had some guys last year. Robbie Anderson had a phenomenal season. I don't think too many people saw that coming. You might have because
I did.
Thing, but not too many other.
Go back to my May 20th article. It's in there.
See? This is why he's the guy. You got to follow him. You got to take a look at what he's doing at Billy FFD at FFD Podcast. My man's putting out lines. He's giving you the rankings. He's giving you your league championships. Listen to the guy. He kicked my ass. He beat me basically. What are you going to do? Hopefully he's going to help.
Wasn't even my team when I beat you.
As his co-host, I feel like he has to help me legally this season. and help him with picks. But at pick 15, there's a wide receiver whom a lot of people have likened a little bit to Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's that. He's not that fast. Nobody's that fast. But he's a burner. He can move.
I will say that I don't know if you remember last year during Henry Ruggs' pro day. Was it pro day? Or it could have been a practice. It was something. They recorded them foot racing a 40. Henry Ruggs is the fastest player to come out in a long time since Tyreek, and since before that, nobody.
Yep. And there's guy
Tyreek and there's nobody.
Smoked him.
Jalen Waddle was a half of a step away from beating Jalen Ruggs. Half a step. He's got better hands. He's always had a stud receiver. I will say that. He's always had a stud throwing the ball, which is a little iffy. Whether because I think he's going to go to the Patriots. Cam Newton's got a noodle arm, and Sam Darnold's side. If Teddy plays next year and they trade back and get him there, I think it's great. I don't think that the Panthers are taking a wide receiver. They don't need it. It's not a necessity. They have 3 of them already. If you include CMC, I don't think it's a necessity. Therefore, I don't think it's going to happen that way. So if the Panthers back up, I think they go elsewhere. They probably go defense.
So this pick, if this goes, say this went the way I think it is, I actually think pick 15, even with the Panthers, is another trade down possibility for the Panthers.
That's fine.
I'm trying to go too crazy with the mock with a ton of trades. I only have one. Like I said, There's going to be at least 4 or 5 in the draft. I don't know where they're going to happen. The odds of my one are pretty slim in happening, but we'll see, right?
I can
Jalen
see
Waddle he's fast. He can
he's
run,
he can take
and
any ball to the house.
there was
Any ball.
before he got injured last year. It wasn't Devontae Smith who was the guy. It was Jalen Waddle who was the guy.
Hmm?
Devontae Smith was the product of Jalen Waddle going down with injury.
Jalen Waddle
Jalen
is the guy.
Jalen Waddle is the better receiver by far of the two of them.
Hmm.
And
He's my
he adds
personal number one rookie receiver this year.
as for
Depending on where he
fantasy
goes,
purpose.
obviously, but
I think fantasy purpose, I agree with that. I think it's a great fit for him in Carolina because Curtis Samuel is no longer there. Very similar player profile to Curtis Samuel. And I think he's a guy you can get the ball in space to and just watch him run.
I don't think that they let Curtis Samuel go not because he's a bad player, it's because they didn't know what to do with him, which is what I think would happen if Waddle went there. Now, desperately, if the trade doesn't happen like you say it's going to happen, Nelson Aguilar is not a number one. He's just not a number one receiver.
Trust me, I watched Nelson Aguilar for 4 years. I know he's not a number
He
one.
just put up 1,000-yard season with the Raiders, so maybe it's just an Eagles problem. But regardless, he's not a number one. You need. They're looking to replace somebody in the slot. Waddle can run through the slot. You can run that slant through the slot, take it to the house 7 days a week, 365, even on Christmas and Easter. I love Jalen Waddle. If he goes, because it all depends who the quarterback's going to be. I don't know. There's so many things up in the air, but Waddle is my favorite receiver of the draft. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing about the draft. We're going to see what happens. Nothing. The odds of us, being right on all these are so slim. The odds of that being right are so slim. But it's fun to think about that offense. Jalen Waddle and that offense, kind of exciting to think about.
Oh yeah.
All right, last pick that we're going to talk about tonight. We're halfway through the draft. We've hit pick 16 with the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to stop here, obviously. Arizona is very interesting team. I know myself personally, I said last year for a long time, Kyler Murray looked like an MVP. Kind of fell off a little bit at the end. But it's got some great weapons around him. Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Fitzgerald's back for another season. Got some great weapons. Added James Conner into the backfield. Not a terrible running back. He can do
Not good.
Not good, but there's worse options out there. So this pick is going to go on the defensive side of the ball. And last time I checked, Arizona let go of a Hall of Fame cornerback this offseason, who's now playing in that Purple People Eater defense. So I'm going to have the Cardinals take a cornerback in this spot. And that cornerback, you're asking me? I know you're asking on the inside. You don't have to say it verbally. It's okay. Cornerback.
Who is it?
Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
Fairly.
I messed up. Fairly with Farley, and I say Tick instead of Tech. I'm having a very bad word night tonight, guys.
Extra credit.
I've said extra credit about 4 times in our other show. I don't know what's happening to me. Caleb Farley makes too much sense at this pick right here. Arizona needs defensive help. That's what's holding them back from taking that next step. And a guy like Caleb Farley, if it wasn't for the injuries, a torn ACL a couple of seasons back, a bad back last year, he opted out as well. He could be in the running for CB1, 100% with Surtain. Might have taken that pretty easily from him. But again, we haven't seen him in a while. You're gambling big time on this pick with talent. We saw the Eagles make a pick very similar a few years ago with Sidney Jones, very highly rated corner in college, tore his Achilles at his pro day. Couldn't make it happen in the pros. Never came back from it. We'll see what Farley can do, but I think he adds an element, and he adds a cornerback there who is a ball hawk. Someone who's going to go out there and find the ball. You put him in the secondary, Buda Baker back there. You got 2 guys who, young up-and-comers. I don't know. I love it. What do you think?
I like it. It's exactly what they need. They could go linebacker. I don't think they will. I don't think they take Parsons. Parsons doesn't really fit the defense that they run. It's great. That's what they need. You can allow those tight end catches again. Vance Joseph. If you're asking me, make my DFS life a little bit easier. You can allow those more tight end passes. Don't have to worry about the outside as much. No, but really, corner's the way to go for them. If not, I'd say linebacker, but for sure corner.
Yeah, I can't see him going linebacker another year after taking Isaiah Simmons last year.
Yeah.
Isaiah Simmons and Micah Parsons kind of have some similarities in their game.
Yeah.
Parsons is a little bit more of an edge rusher kind of guy,
Yeah, he's
whereas
small.
Isaiah Simmons is much more of a coverage. He's a joker. He plays a safety and a linebacker position. I don't see him going there again. I think Micah Parsons was in last year's draft. He's a top 5 pick. Absolutely. Sits out this year. Again, another guy we haven't seen in a year. People are forgetting how good he is. He's sliding. How far is he going to slide? I don't know. Guess we're going to find out, right? But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about these players sitting out. Like one of the players who I think the Steelers are going to wind up taking sat out last year. Um, Anybody who sat out this past year, it's a year you didn't learn. I don't care how good you are. It's a year you didn't work on your craft.
absolutely.
If you sat on your couch all year, you played football by yourself, running fucking drills in your backyard with cones. That didn't make you any better. Nothing. Game action is the only way to make yourself better.
Very right. You need those reps, baby. That's all it is. Got to get on the field, real game action reps. Um, that's our first 16 picks. Billy, we're gonna talk one final one. We're gonna talk about your team. All right, your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're gonna talk. Who do you want, and then I'm gonna tell you who I think you're taking.
I can tell you that's not who we're gonna take. Um, we're gonna go. An edge rusher for sure.
Okay.
Most like Gregory Russo. Most likely. I'd really love Quiddy Pay. I don't want to say his last name. Quiddy Pay.
Pretty pay.
Yes,
Yep.
Quiddy Pay. He's a fucking animal. But he won't. He won't. I don't think he's gonna fall that far. The guy put up 36 reps on the bench. Gotta love it.
Not
Um,
bad. Quiddy Pay reminds me a lot of another former Michigan defensive end in Brandon Graham.
hmm Love
Uh,
that.
but and then you want Russo. I think if you're going edge rusher at pick 24 with the Steelers, it's going to be more likely a guy like Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, edge rusher out of Notre Dame. One of my favorite players in the draft by far. Absolutely love him. I would love to have him as an Eagle, but he just doesn't fit in our scheme as a 4-3 defense. He is a 3-4 outside linebacker. You need to replace Bud Dupree. I can
Yep.
see him going there. But me,
Good.
in my mock draft, because this is my mock draft, not what you want. This is my mock draft.
Yeah.
Who I
The
think the
wrong
Steelers
draft.
are going to take. I think the Steelers at pick 24. Going to do a little bit surprising thing, and it's not the first guy at this position off the board.
Which is
Spoiler out
a
there.
wild take.
Spoiler out there. I think the Steelers take Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama. I know
For the
Billy
record,
would be ecstatic if that
wouldn't
actually
hate
happened.
it at all. Wouldn't hate
He
it
would
one
be.
bit.
Steelers let go of James Conner this offseason. They don't
And
really have that bell cow running back at this point. Bell cow running backs don't really exist too much anymore. Najee Harris is pretty darn good, though. He's explosive. He can run through the A gap. He can get out to the C, and he can sprint down the field. Ran a solid. I think he was in the 4.4s at his pro day. Got good size. He can
that's a
catch the
soft
ball out of the.
four.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Those Alabama boys. They know how to catch the ball. That's something that's not too shabby to have.
I don't know.
I
Last
like
time I
Najee
checked,
Harris
Derrick
going
Henry
there.
can't catch the ball worth a
All right, that's a one outlier. One guy, and he does the one thing that he does pretty damn well.
Yeah.
So, Najee Harris, I know you like that pick. Again, we'll see if it happens. I think it could. We'll see. We don't see too many running backs go in the first round. I have 2 going in the first round. I have a guy going before Najee Harris, and it's probably not the guy you were thinking. So again,
That's the guy who I would take.
Guy you take? Yeah, I think he's a great back. So we'll see.
Not for the Steelers, but for that team. Yeah, for sure.
Not bad. All right, Billy, we'll just do this real quick and then we'll wrap it up. Best pick so far that you think we've had, and the worst pick.
The best pick that we've
The pick that you think
call
is the best,
you
the
for
best pick that I've had that you think is the most likely, the best fit for a player. What do you think's the worst one?
excluding Trevor Lawrence, I'm assuming.
Excluding Trevor Lawrence.
Slater to the Lions
Slater?
for sure.
That's arguably my favorite pick that I have. It might be up there. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. Wouldn't be mad if he was an Eagle.
Outside of that, a lot of stuff is, I love Surtain going to the Cowboys, but like that, There's something about it. Just I don't want to call it a guarantee, but it's pretty
Ooh,
close.
we
It's
don't like to
pretty
use those
close.
words, guarantees.
It's
I
pretty
guarantee
close.
that. I guarantee you that Billy and I will be here every week for you guys consistently.
Yeah, that 4 or 5.
Um,
That's a guarantee.
that is a
That
guarantee.
4, 5, and 6, it can get all mashed up in there. That's why, like, that's a dark area. Whatever the Falcons do is going to change the whole draft.
Absolutely. That pick 4 from 6, you could interchange any one of those guys in any pick. And
Nah,
it's
the
not a,
Bengals aren't
it's,
going to take Fitz. They just wouldn't.
you never know. Stranger things have happened. Again, we've said it previously. Young quarterback's best friend, tight ends. I don't
He's
know.
not young. He's 25. He's a man.
He's young. He's young.
He's younger than us. We're old.
He's young.
He
Yeah,
has
we're
gray
old
hair.
fucks at this point. Yeah, me too. That's why I got a hat on.
Me too.
Worst pick. What do you got as the worst pick?
Um, most likely,
Or
if
your
you're
least favorite pick?
your trade for sure. Your trade for Mac Jones. That's not going to happen.
We'll see, buddy. I don't know. I have sources. I got my Adam Schefter phone out here
Sure.
right now. This is my time of year. I can't reveal my sources. Obviously, that's disrespectful to that individual. But thank you, everyone who has put up with us for this show right now. I hope everybody enjoyed it. This was obviously a different episode than we usually do. We wanted to just talk sports. We're dudes talking sports. That's who we are at heart. Yeah, we love to gamble. Yeah, we love to make money. But at the end of the day, we love watching sports. That's what it comes
I'll have
to.
draft gambling picks on Tuesday.
I guarantee you I will have some up as well. I have a few that I'm already eyeing. There's a pick right now for over under 5.5 quarterbacks to go in the first round. I teased that a little bit ago. Another one is the order of the 3 through 5 quarterbacks being taken. Is it Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields? What order? Some nice odds in some of those picks. So we'll have some cool things coming with that. Billy, close us out. Where can I find you?
First, before you can find me, take Justin Fields plus 150 going number 3. It's still plus money. I don't buy anything that Vegas is moving around. It moved yesterday, and I don't buy it for 1 second. But besides that, insane amount of FFD content about to be released. Follow us at FFD_podcast on Twitter for all that stuff. I've been putting out some gifs and subtweeting people low key, trying to get back into the groove of things,
Know
because
that
I
we're still
run
alive.
for the majority of the time. I do run Ben Zagnall Twitter along with Morgan. He's more helpful than the other idiot I work with on FFD. So it's a lot from one person to run really 4 Twitter accounts.
I gotta say, how did you like that? Did you like that dig at Pittsburgh last night? I put out.
I did. I loved it.
That was pretty good. That was a bad beat.
Yeah,
That was a tough
it's
one.
embarrassing.
Or how about that last one I put up? Is when that last leg of that can't miss parlay misses. Oof! I felt that one.
It's
that
brutal.
one. That one was tough.
It's
Uh,
brutal. Follow me at Billy FFD. Plenty of stuff coming out. Morgan may be hopping on the FFD live stream. If there is a live stream, I will keep you guys updated with that. I got to speak to the short one about that. That's about it.
That's what we got. You can find me at MoWatch26, like Billy said. Find both of us at Betting the Diagonal. Maybe you'll find a little Jared rolling around out there one of these days. Our man's as high as a kite right now. Maybe he'll throw a pick out there.
I doubt
My
it.
man, our guy's been talking a little bit of UFC with us earlier tonight. Who knows? We got a card for Jared on Saturday. He's got a pick for the fight.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to follow Twitter to get that pick though. We don't just give it out. You're gonna have to follow. It's a free account to follow. We don't have to prove you, but you're gonna want to follow it.
Yes.
So,
damn sure.
everyone who's been here tonight, thank you very much for joining us for the NFL Draft Special. Take a look at FFD. We will have the official full mock draft out hopefully in the next couple of days. I'm finishing up some player profiles that I have to do and just some verbiage that I need to do. It's a big article. We will be breaking it down into 2 articles, a 1 through 16 and a 17 through 32. Billy, thank you for sitting here and letting me indulge in my NFL draft talk. You could just see the smile on my face. This is what I love to do. This is my thing. I love sports gambling, but I love talking NFL draft.
He loves talking mock drafts because he wishes deep down that he could be a GM.
Oh, I would be the best GM of all time. I've played so many video games. I know how to make trades. I know how to scout guys.
I'll give you a 7th round pick for a first.
That's right. You should see me trying to trade rape some people in fantasy baseball right now. I know what I'm doing out there. But please take a look at all of us on Betting the Diagonal. You can find us on all podcast networks, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are on there live, putting up episodes constantly. We had some fun. Like I said earlier, Birth Degenerate was one of our favorite episodes we've ever done tonight. Take a look at that. You are not going to want to miss it. It is hilarious. Billy, we'll be back on Tuesday, buddy.
See you Tuesday.